Alright, Shalom Israel. It's the I.S.U.P.K Wednesday law class. Remember to check out Commanding General YAHANNA's radio show, Monday, 2 a.m. Also, Saturday, we have classes in the States, Monday through Friday, midnight UK time. We also have classes here in the UK, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Now, the classes that we hold in Birmingham is on Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. That's the history class on Monday, the law class Wednesday, scripture breakdown class on Thursday, and those is from 7 p.m. till 9. Also, the online classes we hold in the UK is Tuesday from Manchester, 7 p.m. till 9. That's online, so you just type in I.S.U.P.K UK on YouTube. Will come up on Facebook. Also, Friday, 7 p.m. till 9. That's the Hebrew class. That's also an online class, which you can catch 7 p.m. till 9. Then on the Friday, 9 p.m., we got the radio show on the ends, which is 9 till 11, where we go over all the latest topics and the news which comes out and so forth, all of those kind of things. Saturday, the Sabbath service and camp. So we've got a busy packed schedule for the whole week, so you can catch us near enough every single day. So today we're going to go into a few precepts about how our oppressor tries to separate us from our God and how he tries to hide the fact that we, the children of God, all up and down the globe. You ask any random person who's the children of God, they ain't going to say black people, because they've hid that from us and took it away from us so much that when you say, well, black people are the real Israelites, everybody looks at you like you're half crazy. Hey, Shalom, Yahweh Shabbat Kafar.
Shalom, sir. Yahweh Hashem, no thought.
Go ahead, Ira. Let me see if I can hear.
Shalom, sir.
Oh yeah, Most High in Christ here. We can hear you. So now, so can we go more this side? So yeah, the oppressor tries to hide the fact that we, the children of God, and he does a good job at doing it. So he hides these things from us. So what does that make us become? Criminals, why? Because we believe that we're unloved. We believe that, you know what, we're just meant to be we are burden and we're just slaves, and this is all we're supposed to be. So in our life, we believe, you know what, we're just supposed to be slaves. So when you look at your life and you don't see there's no value to your life, and see that your life is valued at nothing, you then behave like you're nothing. And our oppressor sits back and watches and says, look at these black people behaving that way. When here's the reason we behave the way we behave, because of all the oppression, all the substance abuse, and then they give us these substances to take. This is why you can be selling drugs in a black neighborhood for years without police arresting you. As soon as you go to a white neighborhood, you're arrested within a week or two, man. Why? Because they don't want you to kill their people with drugs. But as long as you're killing your own people with drugs, they allow you to make money. As long as you're selling drugs to poor black people, they allow you to make money. But if you try to sell drugs to their people, they come and sweep you up, man. Even their justice system ain't fair on black people. Why? Because they understand that we ain't their people. Like this world, what they do is they take care of their people, and when it comes to you, they don't take care of you. And you can't really blame them, you know why? Because we ain't their nation. Just that when we have our kingdom, we ain't going to take care of them.
That's right.
We're going to take care of our people only. And they can't complain about it, because what we're just doing to them what they did to us. But Ira, give me Romans chapter 15 and verse 4. Oh shit, I see you there with the headpiece. I see you there. Oh,
flyer, sir, flyer.
I see you.
Salak, sir, could you say it again? Romans 15 and
verse 4.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 15 and verse 4. For whosoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning.
So what was written aforetime was written for our learning, man. All these records where brothers went wrong, when they done the things correct, we meant to learn from all these records. These records was written for our learning, man. Judas left the truth. Why? To show us that we should never leave the truth. Judas was a sellout. Why? To show us that we should never be sellouts, man. These stories is recorded for us to learn from. Like how can we read about Judas and then do exactly the same thing that he did? That means we ain't learning from what was written for our learning, man. These things is written for our learning. How can we read about the Lord being with Moses and a fake Israelite group came up against Moses and then we go and join the fake Israelite group? Listen, man, that means we ain't learning from what was written for us. Like these things was written for our learning. So everything we read in these records, we're supposed to learn from it. These things ain't just in there for no reason. Everything in there is in there for a reason, man. This is why the Lord preserved these records. Hey, Shalom, YAHANNA.
Shalom, YAHANNA.
Hakayanda got a fire hit piece as well. Damn. You see that clock as well? All these niggas got damn, man, I need to step my game up to the luck, yeah. I'm gonna pull something out the vote. One day. But yeah, all these things was written for our learning, man. And if we're not learning from them, there's no point us reading the records. I mean, the Lord could have did what? Preserved any other records for us. But the Lord, hold on, what's the English fix? There you go. But the Lord preserved these records for us, man. The Lord preserved these records and said, yo, my spirit have gathered these, which means these records is important. We're supposed to learn from them. Read on.
That we, through patience and comfort of the scriptures, might have hope.
And through patience and comfort of the scriptures, we might have hope. Like, if you don't believe in the God of the Bible, a black God, there's no hope for you, man. Listen, these things give us hope. The only thing that we ever had in life came from the Lord. The only way we can ever be on top in life is coming from the Lord, man. Think about it. There's nowhere else for you to go. There's no way else black people's gonna rule the world, where black people's gonna be the top of anything. The only place you read these records is where in the Bible, man, where the Lord's telling you, I'm gonna give you a kingdom which is gonna be left to you. Nobody else is gonna rule over it but blacks and Hispanics. You only get them things in the scriptures. Right. Imagine if you don't know the scriptures, then your life is what? Thought out, okay, then I'm just gonna be born, be a slave and die. Because you got no hope. Because outside of these scriptures, there's no hope for black people, man. Right. If the God of the Bible wasn't black, there would be no hope for us, man. We would be doomed. We would be what? Listen, if Jesus Christ was really a white man, like they try and say, we would be doomed, man. Guess what would happen? We would die and be born right back into slavery again, man. You would die and float off to this heaven in the sky they talk about and be born right into slavery again, man. This gives black men hope. So when black men say, oh, the Bible's a white man's book, that don't make no sense. This is the only book on the planet which what? Gives hope for black people, man. Right. Which has something in store for black people. Outside, everywhere else, what did they have for black people? Prisons, the cemetery,
right?
Slavery. There's nothing good for black people which this world has to offer you. So if you don't believe in the Bible, you're pretty much doomed, man.
That's right.
You got nothing to look forward to. Right. You got nothing to look forward to. Whereas what? This gives us something to look forward to, man. This gives us hope that
That's
one
right.
day my neighbor's gonna be a black and Hispanic, man. One day I'm gonna walk down the street, all I'm gonna see is black and Hispanics, man. One day we're gonna be rich and running the world, and everybody's gonna come to us. We're gonna decide who gets bread and who gets wheat and who gets corn, man. Even the animals is gonna rejoice when we rule, man. Right? Because we deal with everything fairly. I was watching a program yesterday. It's called Dominion, and the way these damn Australian Edomites was dealing with the animals in the farm, they're kicking them, they're punching them, they're smashing their head against the wall. I'm thinking, what's the need, man? Right. Like, there's no need, man. When righteous people are in rulership, we ain't gonna treat the animals like that, man. That's right. Even the animals is gonna live decent, man. Now, some of these animals have what? A 12-year lifespan, but with the oppressor, what does he do? Just uses them for 6 months and gets the cows, keeps breeding them, takes the milk, kills the cow, all of those kind of things. And then when they don't breed no more, he just gets rid of the cow, just kills it like that, just head off. Listen, man. We can take care of our animals with the chickens as well. He pumps them up with so much steroids that the chickens can't even walk, man. The chickens are all legs are half breaking and falling over. The turkeys as well. It pumps up the turkeys. The turkeys can't walk either. Why? They can't carry that kind of weight. They're sleeping in their own mess, or they're confined to some little space and they can't move. And he just leaves them there and they're all covered in their own mess and whatnot, man. And this is how our oppressor treats animals. Listen, when we're in rulership, we're going to treat the animals better than that, man. You ain't going to get a man just kicking the animal for no reason. You ain't going to get a man just bashing the chicken's head in for no reason. Imagine this. Imagine this, man. You've got a cow and it no longer serves purpose or whatever. Why don't you just release the cow and let it go, man?
Right.
Why don't you just let the cow live and let it go? What this man does is he has to kill it. And he done the same thing with black people, man. When black people was old during slavery, what did he do? He had to kill them. Instead of letting them just go, what would he do? Throw them down the well and leave them there to die. Whereas he could have said, you know what, you're old. You've done your time serving on this cotton field. Just go live your last year of life and do whatever you want. Not this oppressor. He kills you, man. He kills you. And that's what he does, man. Drop that. Give me Romans chapter 9 and verse 1.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 9 and verse 1. I say the truth in Christ, I lie not. My conscience also bearing me witness in the Holy Ghost,
Go ahead.
that I have great heaviness and continual sorrow in my heart.
So now this is Paul talking, because Paul knew what? Paul knew who the Israelites was, man. He knew the blacks and Hispanics was the Israelites. Nowadays, it's us who don't know this. But now, there's people out there that cry for us, man. There's people out there that will take punishments so we could be saved, man. There's prophets out there that said at times, you know what? I wish all Israel could be saved. Meanwhile, we're down here and we think there's no hope for us, man. We think this is it. I'm just going to live, sell drugs, and that's it. When really, there's great things out there for you, man. The Lord is providing great things out there for us. He said, what? Repent, because the kingdom of heaven is at hand. So now what must we do? Repent. We might not have the most money, but guess what? We have the Lord who's with us, man. We might not have all the riches in the world right now, but the Lord is with us, right. which is better than all the money in the world, man. That's right. Listen, man. All these Edomites got money and they're still depressed, still kill themselves every other week. But all we need is the Lord, man. And then what? We'll have everything, man. That's all we need. But the Lord's going to give us riches, a land. And now we building the kingdom with what? Brotherhood. Based on how we treat each other right now, this is how we are going to treat each other in the kingdom. The Bible says the kingdom of heaven don't come with observation. Like, don't come with you looking out the window waiting for the work to get done. You have to actually put your brick in, man. That's what we have to do. You always hear these black people talking about, black people's been trying to come together for years. What's the point? There's no point. Listen, man. If we do it one brother at a time, eventually every brother will be in here, man. No matter how long it takes. If we put our brick in, one brick in at a time, that's progress, man. That's right. The thing is, it's them black people holding us back.
That's right.
They're out there trying to teach their nonsense and their garbage, which makes no sense. All that nonsense teaching makes no sense, man. There's no profit in it whatsoever. They're out there running their mouth thinking they know something, and they don't know a thing, man. That's right. All they're doing is wasting everybody else's time and setting us back an extra 100 years. Right. That's all they do is set us back an extra 100 years, man. Most of these black leaders set us back an extra. Every time they speak, they set us back 50 years, man. Right. Speaking all their nonsense, trying to get black men to go in the army, trying to get black men to join other races. Listen, man, that's not the way. We tried joining other races, and look what happened. We ended up getting the short end of the stick, man. Listen, understand this. No other nation is gonna do business with you unless they're getting the better end of the bargain, man. Whereas when it comes to black people, They get 90%, you get 10%, man. They always get the better end of the bargain. This is why we ain't supposed to join them. Why? Because they're conniving to steal your ideas and all of those things and pass them off as their own. This man's been whitewashing our stuff for years, man.
Right.
Our culture for years. So much that now it seems like we don't have nothing of our own, man. We don't have nothing of our own. Why? Because they've stole everything we've had, whitewashed everything. Read on.
Another one can. Verse 3. For I could wish that myself were accursed from Christ for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh.
It says for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh. And that's us, man. But we don't know these scriptures, so we think, what? I'm all alone in the world. No one sees what I'm going through. No one sees this oppression. Listen, man, the Lord sees all this oppression. The Lord seen our oppression in Egypt. What did we have to do? We had to cry out to the Lord, and the Lord saved us, man. Now, if we ain't crying out to the Lord and we just say, you know what? This is my situation. I'm just gonna live my life and do what I want. Because now we've become what? Good slaves, man. So our whole life is, I'm gonna work twice as hard. I'm gonna get a good job. I'm gonna try and buy a house, and then I'm gonna die. And this house is gonna bring me generational wealth. Don't work like that, man. This devil is never, ever, ever gonna allow us to get generational wealth, man.
That's right.
Never, ever gonna allow us to get so rich that our people don't have to work for him no more. They ain't gonna let you do that, man. What they do is sell you a dream. They done it ages ago. They sold houses to people in England, and then they knocked them houses down and they gave them like maybe 6-7 grand for the house, which was about 2 months rent back then in a new build or something along them lines. So that's what they done, made them buy a house, knocked it down, just gave them the money, and they had to rent again. That's what this man did. Why? Because he can't have too much black people buying houses. Because if he goes, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, just to add to that point, that was heavy still. You know, black people, yeah, and it come from the church as well. They fight tooth and nail for equality, thinking that, you know what I mean, the white man's gonna give them half of their kingdom, or the white man's gonna give you something that you're marching for, or you're trying to get from them. They really think the devil's gonna give them something. And you know what I mean? It's just a long haul and a long march for them. And at the end, it's just gonna be you're getting nothing. You know what I mean? But they don't see it. They still fight, they still march, they still shout, yeah, you know, no justice, no peace, equality, thinking that's gonna get them somewhere. And not even learning the lesson that, you know what I mean, fighting and shouting at a deaf adder ain't gonna help you. It's lucky.
Right, exactly, man. Right. And that's true. We've been going around in circles for years, man. We've been going around in circles for years, thinking this man's gonna give us something, and it's not gonna happen. We fight for equality when everybody else fights to be on top of the world, man. Everybody else fights to be on the top, to rule. We so low. We trying to get equality. This man ain't never going to let you get equality, man. And he's never going to let you get generational wealth, and he's never going to let you get houses on top of houses. You know why? Because what would happen if you get houses on top of houses? You would start renting houses from him, man. He needs you to pay his wages.
Yeah.
So if you have a house, guess what happens if you have a house? You no longer rent from the white man or the East Indian man. So that's why they don't want you to get nothing, because they want you to rent from them. Because you're paying for their children's uni fees. You're paying for their children's car. You're paying for everything when you pay rent. Imagine this, man. You rent off a Edomite or East Indian, and you're paying like what, 700, 800 pound rent a month. Imagine the mortgage is usually 500. What you're paying is, you're paying all of that. Then after 20 years, this man can give you a 6 months notice and say, I need my house back. You've paid off his house, and then guess what happens? You're square one with nothing, man. Meanwhile, you could have had that mortgage and the house would have been paid off. Right. They do this for a reason, man, because they can't have black people having all this luxury, because they know they want to keep you at the bottom, man. Right. They know maybe if black people had houses, we would rent to black people at a bargain, man, which would put them out of business. Imagine if they're renting for 700, 800, and you say, you know what? Because me and you are the same race, I rent you this for 500. Guess what happens? This brother gets to save an extra £300 a month, and he has a nice place to rent, man. and everybody's happy except who? The oppressor and the East Indian who want to rent and rob you. That's all they're doing. They rent you a place and they rob you. They love renting to black people because all they're doing is robbing you, and they're sending that money right back to India, man.
Right.
That money goes right back to India for them to go live like kings and queens out there, for them to go have all the rupees in the world, man, and so forth. Read on it, Ira.
Canada one can. Verse 4. Who are Israelites, to whom pretended the adoption.
And the adoption to us meaning what? One stage, the Lord said, you know what? I'm done with you, like, man. Christ came and died on the cross and adopted us back to the Most High, man. Christ became the mediator between us and the Most High. So we got brought back into the fold. Now we don't even know that, man, that the adoption belongs to us. We don't know that these things belongs to black people. Because maybe if we did, we would understand, you know what? This oppressor don't love us, but the Lord does. We feel like if the oppressor don't love us, that's the end. That's what we feel like. If the oppressor don't love us, that's the end. Like we feel like his love means something. And if the love don't come from him, it's not validated. We feel like we need his love to be validated. And if he don't love us, there's no hope for us. That's how we feel, man. Listen, man, we don't need this man's love. We don't need his love, but we will get his respect, man. He will respect us. That's what he needs to learn, man. He's going to understand that us, man, in the I.S.U.P.K, we ain't no drug dealers, man.
Right.
We ain't no criminals. You better step correct when you step in front of us, man. You better watch your mouth when you talk to us, man.
Right.
We ain't the average black man that you see on the street. We ain't, and this is why they come up to us and kiss our boots. Why? Because we put them in their place, man. We speak to them like they're already in slavery, man. We speak to them like they're beneath us, because they are beneath us.
That's right.
And they kiss our boots. Why? Because we speak to them like we have authority over them, man.
Right.
And that authority comes from the Lord.
That's right.
And that's how it's going to be in the kingdom. Whereas now, they oppress black men, speak to black men like garbage, man. When it comes to us, they better speak with some respect, man. We ain't them black men that you used to, man. We ain't them black men that's high and that you used to. We strong men of the Lord, man.
Right.
You better respect us when you step in front of us, man.
That's right.
Their police officers have to show us respect, man. They have to come to camp and call us sir, man. And ask us. They have to come and ask us. Can we do this? Can we do that, man? They have to ask us nicely, man. They don't come out there with no mace and they're batting. They better step correct when they come in front of the men of the Lord, man.
That's right.
Because who knows? They might not make it to work tomorrow, man.
Right.
Who knows? The Lord might not make them wake up for work tomorrow, man. They better step correct when they come in front of the men of the Lord.
Right. So, like, yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Just to add to that heavy point there, do you remember the she-bear that came out of the they tried to play with, who is it, Salakia? Was it
Elisha?
The kids tried to play with Elisha, and the Lord just sent bears and killed, I think, 40 of them. Yeah. And now, Salakia, sir, now in America, they've got a flood in another state now, where they flooded out and they've evacuated all the thousands of people from one state in America. And that's the hand of the Lord when you play with God's children. You know what I mean? Judgment is about to, you know what I mean, take you. You know what I mean?
Exactly, man. The Lord's about to destroy this place, man. And people think the Lord don't see how they're treating his people, how they're treating his children. The Lord sees it, man. And when the Lord does redeem us, he redeems us by what? Destroying the people around us.
That's right.
Just look at Egypt, for example, man. Egypt was flourishing. Egypt was rich, had all the money in the world, had all the resources, was the world superpower at that time. And the Lord destroyed them, man. Why? Because of how they treated us. Now, if black people owning you, the Lord would destroy a country for you. Maybe we would put the drugs down, man. So what does our press have to do? Whitewash everything.
That's right.
Make us believe that this Bible has nothing to do with us.
That's right.
Make us believe that we suffer in the curse of Ham. That's what they tell you. Black people, your skin's black because it's a curse. That's what they tell you, man. And then people believe it, and then now our children don't want to be black. Why? Because they believe being black is a curse, not realizing being black is so beautiful, man. This is why everybody wants. This is why everybody wants to be like us. Everybody wants to dress like us. This is why these white women, once upon a time, they used to say black people had rubber lips. They used to call it rubber lips, man. That's what they used to say. You black people got rubber lips. Now, what did these Edomites do? Pay for lip fillers, man.
Right. That's right.
Pay for Botox and to get their cheekbones done.
Because
they want to look like who? Black women, man. Now what do they do? On the tanning bed every single day. Every single day they're topping up their tan. Because why? They want to look like you. Meanwhile, you don't have to go on no tanning bed every single day, man. You just go about your business. On your rough days, you look better than the white woman, man.
That's right.
They're trying to look like you, get all these lip fillers, get all these injections in their lips to look like you. And then they have the cheek to say that we cursed. Listen, man, really, they know that it's them who's cursed, man.
That's right. They know.
They're doing this reverse psychology, and they're good at it. They're good at this reverse psychology, man. Why? Because most black people hate themselves now. Why? Because of what our oppressor tells them. Because of how our oppressor teaches stuff and whitewashes history. So now black people believe, you know what? I'm only good for being a slave. I'm cursed. I'm good for nothing. My race is a disgusting race. I'm from a race of just criminals and drug dealers and slaves. They don't want to tell you that what? You're from the same race as Yahushua, man, who's a black man according to the Bible.
Right.
They don't want to tell you that what? You're from the same race as Solomon and all of them. They don't want to tell you about the great men in your race.
Right.
This is why, with the black inventors, what happens? They hide the fact that half these things was created by black inventors, man. They hide the fact that half the things you use today was designed by black inventors because they want you to believe that you're dumb. They want you to believe that you're dumb, you're stupid, and you can't invent nothing. Right. Meanwhile, we invent the most things, man. We invent most things that you see. They want you to believe that great musicians from the past was Edomites when really there was black. They lie to you about these things, man. Great black men who done great things in history, they have you believing that they're white. But when it comes to people that done nothing in history, they let you know they're black. Listen, man. This man is slick and the devil for a reason, man. This man is more subtle than any beast of the field for a reason. Read on. Ira.
And the glory.
And the glory, which is what? The kingdom of heaven, man. One day you're going to wake up in the morning and we're going to be out of this nightmare that we're in right now, man. Right. We're no longer going to be in this nightmare called England. That's right. This nightmare called Great Britain, which ain't so great, man. Which is a horrible place. Right. Which is a filthy place, man. You got people trying to leave England to go to Ethiopia and Ghana and Gambia and all these places. Listen, man. We treated like second-class citizens everywhere we go. Everywhere we go, we're still oppressed. So there's no point moving around, man. I'd rather stay in the neck. I'd rather stay in the neck of these devils and let them see me and be mad to see me every day, man. Right. Let them listen. I know you're the devil. You don't like me. I don't like you. But guess what? We're gonna live side by side, man. Right. We're gonna live side by side, and you can't stand me, and I can't stand you. I'm not gonna run away and make it easy for you. I'm gonna stay right here, man. Raise up more black people, man. And then one day, guess what? No black people is gonna be smoking weed and taking drugs. Every black man is going to be doing what? On a microphone saying that oppresses the devil, man. Everywhere you go, you're going to hear it in your own country. You're going to hear it. You're going to be saying, this used to be Britain, but I'm seeing black people telling me that I'm the devil. I can't even go to town no more. I'd rather do that than run to Gambia somewhere. Than run to Ethiopia. I'd rather be in Great Britain, England, the United Kingdom. I'd rather be out there, man, in the neck of the white man, the neck of our oppressor, the neck of the EDL and the Tory party. Right. And let them know, listen, man, you ain't going to twist my arm. I know who you really are, man. I know exactly who you are. And you're the devil. And you ain't going to sell me no dreams, man. Right. That's right. You've been selling my people dreams for like 500 years now. That's right. Now, finally, we woke up from that dream, man. And now we're seeing who you really are, man. We're seeing you for who you really are. Mm-hmm. We're no longer buying your dreams. We know you're the devil. You stay over there and we will stay over here, man. Go on, Hakim, was you going to say something?
So something just came to my mind. There was something back then Well, I was just thinking, they're gonna have their time where they walk into a shop and they feel that they're stealing everything. Every time we walk into a shop somewhere, we're always getting looked at like we're buying shit to Lakia, and they're looking at us like we're thieves. They're gonna get that one day. The shoe's gonna turn. And so Lakia, just one other point, sir, is when when Salakia, you still there?
Yeah.
My screen just went. Salakia. And yeah, another point is when I used to tell when I tell people that we're the real Jews, you know what I mean, and they don't, you know what I mean, they got a smirk on their face until they realize, you know what I mean, that we are, you know what I mean, they find out, they do their research, and they find out that we are the real Jews, and there is going to be a time where we're going to be ruling over them. Salakia. I missed my point, Salakia. But there was a point I meant to say, but I missed it. Salakia.
Listen, man, we need to rule over them because they don't know how to rule nothing, man. These other nations can't rule nothing. So we need to rule over them. And it's only right, man. The time is going to come when what? They're going to walk into our shops and we're going to put the camera on them, man. That mirror, you know, they got that big circle mirror in the shop. You're going to see us looking in that mirror to see if they're concealing anything, man. They're going to have that time when what? When we in the kingdom where we got our own security and we falsely accused them of stealing, man. And I'm going to say, this is what I'm going to say. I'll complain to head office, knowing it's going to go nowhere, man. I'm going to say, I've got to complain to the manager. I'm going to say complain to the manager. Hakian's going to be the manager. They're going to act like he cares. As soon as they leave, that complaint's going to go in the bin, man.
Straight away.
That's what they do to us. Complaints go in the bin.
That's
you go
right.
to shop with your CV. They take your CV. The man looks at it like he's interested.
Yeah.
As you walk out the shop, he throws it in the bin, man.
You can.
He looks at the skin, the color of your skin. That CV goes in the bin.
Mm-hmm.
If you're some little Edomite girl, guess what? You would have the job, man.
That's right.
Whereas now, like with black people, you can barely get a job which is front of house, meaning they don't like to put black people on the front of a business because it doesn't look good according to them. This is why you don't see much black people working in banks. You don't see much black people working in high offices. But where do you see black people working? In the back somewhere, in the cold somewhere, doing the deliveries, working in the back, doing the night shift where no one has to see them. That's where they have black people working, man. Because they look at you and they'll be like, wow, you don't fit the look. Guess what? When we rule the earth, they ain't going to fit the look, man.
That's right.
The look is going to be black.
That's right. That's right.
Above, you don't fit the look.
That's right.
Yeah, because you don't fit the look, man. You have to work in the cold freezer, man.
That's right.
You have to go work in the cold freezer. You have to go work in the farm. You have to do all of those jobs, man. You have to go work in the farm and the strawberry field. You have to go do all of those kind of jobs, man.
That's right.
You have to do the jobs that my forefathers had to do.
That's right.
Right, man. When you start telling me the job's hard, I'm going to say, well, you know what? My forefathers done it. Why can't you do it, man?
Right.
This is what I'm going to say. I'm going to say, get over it, man.
That's right.
They tell us, get over it.
That's right.
They tell us, man. At work, you can even barely get a break these days.
That's right.
Read on, Ira.
And the covenants.
And the covenants, man. The agreements and the law. All these things was given to black people, man. These things was given to Israelites. And it's only right we hold on to these things. Because now, with all these things which was given to us, the covenants, guess what? We've lost them over time.
Right.
So now, we live by no code. We live by no law.
Right.
Things that was given to us.
Right.
We've let go of them over time. So in our mind, we just live how we want to live. We eat what we want to eat. Do everything what we want to do. Really, us as black people, we ain't supposed to live like that. So we've become disgusting in this place, man. We've become horrible in this place. We've become sinners in this place. Why? Because we don't believe these covenants belong to us. We believe these covenants belong to some oppressor. If we knew they belonged to us, we would hold these records close, man.
That's right.
Black men died for these records, man. They took these records with them, and whenever they ran somewhere, they buried these records. They buried these records, man. And then years down the line, what happens? Excavations happen. They start to dig into the earth. Then they find these records and not realizing, and then we should realize these records was held by black men, man.
Right.
Black men took these records everywhere they went.
Right.
Buried them. And now archaeologists are just finding these records today. finding the scrolls and so forth. Why? Because people took them with them when they was running from persecution. They buried them somewhere, and then now they're finding these records, and these records really belong to us. So all our records ends up where? In the Vatican somewhere, man. That's where all our records is kept, in the Vatican somewhere. All the slave records and all the records is kept in those places, or they keep them in the Church of England and so forth. Have them hidden in a vault where they have 24-hour security around them things. Why? Because they can't let them records fall into the hands of black people, man.
Right.
We knew how much of our records they have. They know exactly who we are. You know why?
Can't.
They've read the records, man.
Can't.
Read the records, and they know, well, we can't let black people get their hands on these records, because if they get their hands on these records, it's over for us. So what do they do? Tell you Jesus is white. Hide all your records. Even destroy some of your records. Take passages out of the Bible and then give you a Bible called the slave Bible, where they take out all the Old Testament, 90% of the Old Testament, and only leaving passages that they misinterpret. Why? Because they don't want you to find out who you are. Because if you found out who you are, then you would change your life. Right. Then you would realize your life, there's some purpose to your life.
Can't. Salaki.
Go ahead.
And Salaki, just to add to that, and you'd realize your kids won't be able to play with Tom and John and Peter on the road anymore, because these laws will tell you that, you know what I mean, they're your enemy. And if we Tazapuan brought it out yesterday, Deuteronomy, where it says we got to teach our children's children. So our generation will separate from them. I mean, once we get these laws, once our kids get these laws, they won't be playing with freckle face Peter or the ginger boy down the road. We'll be separating our people straight away, which will make us strong, like the Bible says. Salakia, if we kept those laws, Salakia, just to add to that point.
Exactly, man.
I mean,
if we kept to ourselves, our nation would grow, man. Because what we do is we put money in everybody else's pocket. Right. Now, if we just said, you know what, we're setting up a black business and we only black and Hispanic people can be involved in it. Guess what will happen? That business will flourish. But what we do is when we do set up black businesses, we water it down and cater for white people. So I don't know if you've ever been to a black barber. They cut his hair before you do. So go ahead, Ira.
I'll be right back, sir.
All right, no sir. So now, if you've ever been to a black food shop or a black barber and an Edomite walks in, guess what happens? He gets his hair cut before you. He gets served before you. Now, you go to these black food shops, the black woman's always horrible to black people, man. She's always rude and miserable. Yeah. Meanwhile, when an Edomite comes in, she's polite to him, man. She treats him like his God. Right. But when it's you, she's no manner. She just throws you change in your hand. Don't even look at you. Not even a thank you when you just kisses her teeth. I'm thinking I'm putting money in your pocket. Why are you kissing your teeth for, man? You want a dumpling? She's mad at you. I'm thinking, why? When an Edomite comes in, she's all smiles and has conversation with him. But when it comes to seeing her brother, she's horrible to him, man. Right. When you meant to love your brother, man. That's right. Listen, man. You meant to love your brother, but they don't want to love their brother. What they want to do is abuse us, man. Be rude to us. Be disrespectful to us, man. It's like pick up that for me, Hakian.
Karawan Khan, so where was it?
It was in Romans 9 and verse 4.
Karawan Khan, Romans 9 verse 4. Who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption, and the glory, and the covenants, and the giving of the law, and the service of God.
And the service of God, listen, the service of God is what? The Sabbath service and everything else, which means you can't go Sunday church no more, man. Right. That's right. You can't go to the Catholic church no more, man. Because it's not their duty to do the service of God. Imagine you're going to get the service of God from someone whose duty it is not to do the service of God. It is a black man's duty to do the service of God, man. And you decide to go to some Catholic church. You ain't going to get the truth according to the Bible in them places, man. Right. Because why? Who sets up their missionaries isn't a black man. They told what to teach by who? Their love of the white man, our oppressor. He tells them what to teach, and they can't go away from the script. So you ain't never going to get the truth from there. Read on.
Karawan Khan. Whose are the fathers, and of whom, as concerning the flesh, Christ came, whom is over all.
And as whom concerning the flesh, Christ came. Christ came for who? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, man.
That's right.
Christ only came for us, but we don't know that. We believe that Christ came for who? The oppressor. We believe that Christ is a white man. Man, really, that's a lie, man. Imagine your whole life we've been taught that. So obviously, growing up, you're gonna believe it when it couldn't be further from the truth, man.
Right.
Jesus Christ looked just like you and I, man.
Right.
He looked just like you and I, man. He was born into the same kind of system just like you and I. At his time, the Romans was ruling, man. And who's ruling today? Still the Romans. They just call themselves the British Empire now. They just call themselves the Spanish Empire now. But they're all fractions of the Romans, man. They're the same people. They're the same oppressors. The same people that hated Christ is also the same people that hate you, man. Just read about Christ in the Bible. How he lived should let you know he was a black man, man. How he was hated should let you know he was a black man. How he was killed should let you know he was a black man. I mean, black men get killed by the authorities for no reason, man. Jesus Christ got killed by the authorities for no reason. I mean, Paul got thrown in jail for no reason. Black men get thrown in jail for no reason. It should let you know the pattern of the men in the Bible is the same life that we live today.
That's right.
We live that same life today. Read on.
Verse 6. Ira, verse 6.
Okay, not as though the word of God had taken none effect.
So not as though the word of God have taken none effect. Because it seems like the word of God's taken none effect. Why? Because you're hearing about the glory and the covenant. And you're thinking, well, where's this glory? Where's these covenants? Where's these riches? Where's this wealth? That's what we're thinking. Where is it? Read on.
Come. For they are not all Israel which are of Israel.
They are not all Israel, which are of Israel, meaning everybody that claims the Israelites, they ain't Israelites, man. They are not all Israel, which are of Israel, meaning what? Those people that live in the land of Israel, they ain't, most of them, 99% of them ain't Israelites, man. They ain't all Israel who are of, they ain't all Israel who are of Israel, meaning what? These people make out they're the Israelites, make out they're the children of God, make out they've been given all of these things, and they haven't, man.
Right.
But though it seems like they're Israelite, why? Because they're living good. They've got all the records, they've got everything. So you would think, well, this devil must be an Israelite because he's ruling the earth. He lies and makes out his Israelite, says they're not all Israel who are of Israel, man. They make out they're of Israel, but they ain't of Israel, man. You have to be born into this family. You have to be born a black, Hispanic, or Native American Indian, man. On your father's side, that's what makes you an Israelite, man. All these people claiming the Israelites, spiritual Israelites, because they live in the land of Israel, because they whatnot, that don't make them an Israelite, man. You have to be born one. Read on.
Another one can. Verse 7. Neither because they are the seed of Abraham,
Because
are
they're the
they
seed of Abraham, man. Why? Because Abraham had many children. Listen, the Lord's letting you know, though he loved Abraham, he didn't love all of Abraham's children, man.
Right.
Though he loved Abraham, only one of Abraham's children he loved. He said, though they are the seed of Abraham, why? Because Muslims like to stake claim to this. Well, we the seed of Abraham. Listen, you might be, man, but the Lord ain't chose you. You might be the seed of Abraham, but though you are the seed of Abraham, read on.
are they all children?
Go ahead.
But in Isaac shall thy seed be called.
In what?
But in Isaac shall thy seed be called.
But in Isaac shall thy seed be called, man. Meaning Isaac is the chosen one, man.
Right.
The Lord chose Isaac, and then from Isaac he chose who? Jacob, man. And then the children of Jacob, that's who the Lord chose, man. Though the seed is through Isaac, so I don't care if you come from Abraham, man. Who cares? The Lord said, who cares if you come from Abraham? Not all the children of Abraham are chosen. Just we are, man. We special children of the Lord, man. And we don't even know it. Read on.
Another one can. That is, verse 8, that is, thy which are the children of the flesh.
That is David.
These are,
That is
shall I
David,
go?
the children of the flesh. Now, the children of the flesh is what? Just children that's just born out of sex. There's no real deepness to it. There's nothing spiritual to it. They're just the children of the flesh. They're just born to be here. Go ahead.
That is the,
Verse 8.
that is, which are the children of the flesh.
So
These
now,
are not the
the
children
children
of
of
God.
Abraham, the children of Abraham outside of Isaac, they're just the children of the flesh. Read on.
But the children of the promise are counted for the seed.
And we, the children of the promise, meaning what? We here for a purpose, man. The Lord promised our very existence to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, man. We here by promise. These other nations is just here because, they're just children of the flesh. They're just here, why? Because their parents decided to have sex. But us being here, we children of the promise, man. We was promised to be here, man. And the promise of us being here is bigger than us being anybody's slave. It's bigger than us just working 9 to 5. It's bigger than us just being gangbangers and drug dealers. We here. We was promised to be here, man. We here for a purpose. And it seems like over time we forgot that purpose, man. We forgot that purpose. Read on.
So like you said,
Go ahead.
It's them, the Edomites and the rest of the world, that they're supposed to be our slaves. We were supposed to be on top originally.
Right.
We were supposed to be ruling originally, and they were supposed to be our servants and serve us. But it's like just to bring that point out, because you said, they would just have to have sex and that. They were here to serve us, though, right?
Exactly. That's their sole purpose. Their sole purpose is to serve us, man. Their whole purpose, their whole existence is because we here and we need slaves and servants. That's the whole purpose. But they're going to realize that in the near future, for now, they think they're here to just get diamonds and live their best life in the press of us. Listen, man, the time's coming when they're going to see what their true purpose is, to be slaves and be on our cotton field and so forth. Read on Ira.
Verse 9. For this is the word of promise.
But this is the word of promise. But drop that for time's sake. Give me a Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 4.
Jeremiah 17, verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from the heritage that I gave thee. Shall discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee.
And now we've discontinued from our heritage which was given unto us. So now we've lost our heritage, we've lost our culture. And then now, as you can see, because we know that we had a culture, we've been searching for a culture ever since, and we just find whichever one's easy. This is why you find black people in every religion. Why? Because we're the only people who's lost our heritage and culture. So now you find us in what? Some African philosophy, some Islam, Christianity, Rastafarianism. We're trying to find the culture somewhere. We're trying to cleave onto something because we know we had a culture. We just don't know what our culture was. So this is why the I.S.U.P.K is here to show you what your culture was, man. This is why when brothers come in here with dreads, what happens? They learn, then eventually they cut those dreadlocks off, man. Because why? They believe that dreadlocks is their culture, not realizing Rastafarianism is a combination of East Indians, Ethiopians, Christianity. It's all of them put in one. So now they morph all these religions in one and follow it. Whereas we had our own culture, which was only for us, man. And then because we've gone away from our culture, guess what? We've become uncultured people, meaning we have no culture. The culture that we have now is everybody else's. Christmas, that weren't our culture. Easter, that weren't our culture. Birthdays, that weren't our culture. Our culture was what? The feast days in Leviticus, the 23rd chapter. And this is why we push our culture so much in here, man. So brothers get it back and can teach it to their kids. So your children never have to celebrate a birthday. So your children never have to eat pork. So your children never have to do the stuff that we did, man. So your children can be better than we was, man. They learn these things from young, so it's easier for them to let go of. Whereas some of us, we let go of Christmas in our 20s, our 30s, our 40s. Whereas our children, they're born and they don't ever have to celebrate Christmas in their life, man. This is why it's very important you take those steps today. So by the time you come back in the earth, you come back in your family not celebrating Christmas, man. The same teachings that you pass down to your family is going to be the same teachings when you come back is what you're going to find, man.
Right.
Now, if you don't teach your family nothing, you're just going to come back in the same family full of drug addicts, same family full of alcoholics, same family full of criminals. Whereas you could teach today, man. You could be a teaching priest today, man. You could teach your sons, teach your daughters. They teach their children, they teach their children, they teach their children. They teach their whole family. And then when you come back in the earth through your family, guess what? You would be born into a righteous family, man. You wouldn't have to go through what we went through. You wouldn't have to be born to some mom that's on crack, some mom that's smoking drugs while she's pregnant, some mom that's drinking E&J while she's pregnant. You could be born in a functional family, man. Whereas most of our upbringings is unfunctional, man. We come from a family line of thugs and criminals and drug dealers, man. We could break that cycle. We don't need to come from that, man. We could come from good stock. What you do today is what you setting your family up to be good stock, man. So in the kingdom, your family is known as good stock. Your family is known as good stock. You don't just marry any and anybody, man. Even back then, in our own nation, you wouldn't just marry any and anybody in your nation. Why? Because some families was better than other families, man. Now, you wouldn't marry into a family who's got a terrible reputation. Why? Because you know you're a family of royalty, and you know your family's got morals and everything. Why would you marry into a dysfunctional family? You wouldn't. Even amongst ourselves, we wouldn't do that back then when we had some standards. But nowadays, we marry anyone. Why? Because as a race, we've all become dysfunctional. So we've all become criminals. Go ahead.
Like to add to that as well, like our people think that they can do what white people can do. So like, yeah,
right, exactly.
They think they're damn white, that they can do this and do that. That is that the white man get away with. And when they get pulled up on it, right, and the Edomites don't, they're like, well, how come they can do it and we can't? Not knowing that, you know what I mean, you've got laws. And even though, so like, yeah, and I think the scripture says this, don't it? That even if they don't know about a law and they commit sin, they'll be judged for that.
Right. That one's what is it? To the Jew first and to the Gentile.
I can't remember if it's that one.
Yeah, it's that one, to the Jews first and to the Gentiles. But them Gentiles is Israelites, meaning even if you don't know the laws, you're still gonna get punished for it. But the brothers at Jerusalem who knew the laws, they was gonna be punished first for it because they should know better. But the ones who don't know better, they're still going to get punished for it. Kind of like today with the police. If you, like in certain countries, their speed limit might be 50 miles per hour. If you don't know the speed limit in this country, you do 50 miles on a 30, whether you know it or not, you're still going to get a ticket.
That's right.
The same thing. You're supposed to know it. Whether you know it or not, you're still going to get punished. And that's our life. Read on.
If I may.
Go ahead.
Also, I wanted to say on what you were saying earlier. For a lot of people, they say they are niggers, they are real nigger, but they don't even know where a real nigger come from. What language a real nigger speaks. That's why you should come to the I.S.U.P.K so you can learn how to be a real nigger.
That's right.
Get your culture back, man. Get your language back.
Cancer.
History on everything, man. That's what our people should do. Because a lot of things that we think is black culture, not really black culture.
That's right.
A lot of things that we think makes us who we are, doesn't make us who we are, man. What makes us who we are is this Bible.
That's right.
This Bible makes us who we are, man. Read on. Where was we?
Well, so like we're in Jeremiah 17, verse 4.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever.
Now we serving our enemies. Why? Because we kindled a fire. We upset the Lord, man, by being disobedient unto him. And like any good father, he punishes his children when they do wrong. But this is how our oppressor spins it. Our oppressor spins it that we punish by the Lord because the Lord hates black people. That's what he will tell you. He will make you believe black people's only punished by the Lord because God don't like them. So then you look at your life and the punishments and you be like, wow, God must not like me if he's punishing me like this. The reason we're punished is because we break his laws, man. The oppressor will be like, look how God rewards us. Look how God rewards us with wealth and money. It's because God loves white people and hates you black people. And then if you hear that loads of times, guess what? You start to believe it, man. You start to look at your life and you start to say, you know what? That must be true. Not realizing we punish. Why? Because of our iniquities, man. We punish because of our transgressions. That's why we punished. We make out like he makes out like we punish because the color of our skin and God not loving black people. Because that's what the oppressor will tell you. But because every time as a black person you tell them you're the children of God, they laugh at you. They're like, you can't be the children of God. They say, no way, you black people can't be the real Jews. Listen, they go so far to disrespect you that they will tell you,
yeah,
olives are green. So they'll say, you know what? Jesus Christ looked Middle Eastern. He looked like an Arab. That's what they'll tell you. Because he could never be black.
Can't.
I mean, he could never look like you. Because you black people come from terrible stock. He could never be black. So what do they do? Oh, his color was Middle Eastern. They do that to further disrespect you. Because they're saying Jesus Christ could never be your color, man. Look at how you black people are. He couldn't come from a race like that. He couldn't come from a people like that. And this is why the Bible says what? In the same place it was said unto you, you are not the children of God. It's going to be said unto you, the children of the living God, man. These other nations is going to find out with the children of the living God. All these insults and them telling us Jesus Christ look Middle Eastern, look like an Arab. Or listen, man, the day is coming when the whole world's going to find out he's black. The whole world's going to find out that Peter was black. The angels is black. The day is coming when the whole world is going to find out these things, man. I.S.U.P.K is going to be like, I told you so. Go ahead.
Don't they say it's like the one? Don't they say don't the scriptures say once they know who we are, they're going to be terrified.
Right, and they're going to try and beg friend. They're going to try and beg friend. That's what they're going to do. They're going to try and be nice to you, so you can be like. They're going to try and be nice to you, so you can take it easy on them. That's what they're going to do. They're going to try and kiss your ass, man, because they know you're the children of God. They're going to be like, you know what? Maybe if we be nice to him, the Lord might give us a blessing. So they're going to try and do all of those stuff, man. Whereas now they're treating you like garbage. Why? Because in their mind, you could never be the children of God. Because, you know, you're black for nothing. Go ahead.
Thus saith the Lord, cursed be the man that trusteth in man and maketh flesh his arm.
That's it on that. Give me Hosea chapter 4 and verse 6.
This is the book of Hosea, chapter 4 and verse 6. My people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge.
Read on.
Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject you.
It's lucky to use it here. The news: Young Dolph was shot and murdered.
Who? Salakia?
No, no way. Yeah. Damn, I used to
Salakia, sir?
You listen to Young Dolph.
Oh, Durf. Is that Durf you mean? Young Durf?
No, Dolph. D-O-L-P-H, Young Dolph. Damn. When they get murdered? Today, damn. This is the thing, man.
It's the Lord, man.
We need to come together, man. That's right. Imagine this, man. We just kill each other left, right, and center. Whereas, obviously, life shouldn't be like that, man. Got shot up and that. Damn, it's sad, man. This is how us as black people live. Imagine that. Black people die in their 20s, their 30s, their 40s. When really we're supposed to live and die from natural causes, man. We're supposed to die from natural causes. We ain't supposed to die from being shot to death. Damn, man, it's a shame how we're living. Trust me. Go ahead.
So, like you said, if I could,
go ahead.
If we're not serving God, right? We're not serving the Most High. The Most High hates us. He's against us. You know what I mean? And they got put to death for not following these same laws that you're teaching today. That you're bringing out today, that we should be teaching our children. I mean, it's a shame. Yeah, it's a shame that he's dead. But
and so lucky, the reason he's dead is why? Because the white man's the devil, man. That's the reason why.
Right.
It ain't even down to them. It's because the white man's the devil. The things that he puts in our neighborhood, drugs, tells us to sell drugs. He's the blame for all of these things, man. The life that he glorifies, man. He makes us go and live it. And then this is the repercussions for listening to the oppressor. And now the oppressor is going to sit back and laugh. Now the oppressor is going to sit back and laugh, and it don't affect him. It's sad, man. Listen, man. Rap has been dying for years from Biggie and Tupac, and we're still dying. Like you would think that rappers who are millionaires wouldn't die like we do, but it just shows you can't escape them curses, man. It just shows you can't escape them curses. It just shows, man. But read on.
Another one come. I will also reject thee. Thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast for.
Read Hosea 4:6 again from the top.
Another one come. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. Right. That thou shalt be no priest to me.
And now it says, because of lack of knowledge, the Lord will also reject us, that we shall be no priest to him, man. And our life is the Lord rejecting us, man. Young dogs being killed is the Lord rejecting us, man.
That's right.
Why? Because we're supposed to be priests to him. The Lord saying, all right, then, well, I'm going to reject you. You're not going to be no priest to me, man. And when we're not no priest to the Lord, what do we end up being? Something for the white man. We end up being his servant.
Yeah.
We end up carrying out his mission and all that nonsense. Read on.
Seeing that thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, I will also forget thy children.
Oh, what?
I will also forget thy children.
When you forget the laws of the Lord, man, our children's forgotten, and this is why we're being shot to death in the ghettos, man. This is why we're dying. This is why you're browsing through your Facebook. Someone that was alive yesterday saying, damn, he got shot. That's what happens when the Lord rejects us and our children, man. Right. This is why we need to come back to the Lord. So what? We can live life everlasting. So we don't have to die young, man. So we don't have to die a horrible death. Listen, man, it's a shame, man. It's sad to luck. Read on.
Another one come. Verse 7. As thy were increased, so thy sin against me. Therefore,
drop that. Give me Deuteronomy 7:1.
Deuteronomy 7, verse 1. When the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land, whither thou goest to possess it, and have cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites and the Girgashites.
So now the Lord was casting out these other nations, man. We're so special to the Lord that the Lord was what? Didn't even want these other nations around us, man. He told us not to be like them. When you go into the land, don't join them. Don't make no agreements or nothing with them. Go ahead.
Come. And the Girgashites and the Amorites and the Canaanites and the Perizzites and the Hivites and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. And when the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them.
He was meant to smite them and utterly destroy them and make no covenant with them. Meaning what? The Lord knows we're better than all these other nations, man. We're so much better than them that we ain't meant to make no covenant with them, no agreement with them, no nothing. What do? We can't stay away from these heathens, man. We hold them at such high regards. We love them, and we're supposed to stay away from them and make no covenant with them. Read on.
Quran Khan. Nor show mercy unto them.
No what?
Show mercy unto them.
No show mercy unto them. Because why? They ain't showing no mercy unto us, man. They don't show black men no mercy whatsoever. Black men get killed all the day long, man, and they don't show us no mercy.
Khan.
Listen, man. Like you imagine this. Life for a black man is hard, man. Let me tell you why. You got white people killing black people. You got police killing black people. You got black people killing black people. Listen, man. As a black man, life is hard out there, man. Whereas black men should take a vow and say, I'm never going to kill another black man, man. They should say, you know what? That black man's my brother. I'm not going to kill him. What I'll do is I'll get in the I.S.U.P.K and we can go to council. That's what you can do, man. You can go to, you don't need to shoot. You don't need to shoot your brother. You just go to council, man. And then whoever's wrong, whoever loses the council, they make that wrong right. Guess what? You both get to walk away with your life. Now, if you took a man's life, guess what's going to happen? The Lord might just take your life, man.
That's right.
The Lord might just take someone's life in your family, man.
Right.
Because the same way you make that man's family cry, your family might have to cry over you. And someone's going to cry over you, then someone's going to kill that. And it's a cycle that don't end. Whereas, how about we just don't pick up weapons to each other and we just leave it to the Lord, man?
Right.
Let the Lord judge us, man. Let the Lord decide which one of us should live or die instead of you going on a rampage, picking up a gun. It's not your position to do that, man.
Right.
But when we don't serve the Lord, this is what happens, man. We just kill each other over nothing. We kill each other over the littlest things, man. Imagine even over here in the UK, people come out of their house with a knife. Someone looks at them the wrong way and they end up taking someone's life. That wasn't even your plan. Your plan was to imagine your plans to go from A to B, and someone's like, "Yo, what you watching me for?" Before you know it, they pull at them, they kill you over something as little as that. Whereas you see a brother like that, oh, he could say shalom, you could say shalom, and you walk past each other. But obviously, with the hatred we have for each other is deep, man. And why? All of that comes from the oppressor. All the hatred he has for us, we channel that same hatred towards our brother, man.
Right.
Obviously, we ain't supposed to do that. What verse you at?
Now going into verse 3, Salakia.
Yeah, go ahead.
Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son.
Listen, man, you ain't meant to take their daughters. Don't give them your daughters. We ain't meant to have no relations with them, man. We ain't meant to have no marriages with them. Why? Because that's how you weaken nations.
Right.
And that is how the real royal family, which is us, lost the throne, man. Why? From these mixed marriages.
Right.
You got this king marrying this Edomite marrying this one, then and all of those things. You would have them marrying the French and so forth. That's how they lost the throne. That's how a German queen sits on the throne today. Why? Because they're marrying with everyone, man. Eventually, what was yours will no longer be yours, man. What inheritance was yours would be passed on to somebody else. Imagine this. You as a black man marry an Edomite, you have a daughter. Your daughter then marries what? An Edomite. All them goods that was once a black man's ends up to be an Edomite's. Your daughter, which is black, then has kids which end up being what? Edomites. This is why we ain't supposed to mix, man.
Right.
We ain't supposed to mix. The Lord said don't make marriages with them. Read on.
Quran Khan. For they will turn away thy son from following me.
For what?
For they will turn away thy son from following me.
Definitely will, man. They'll have you celebrating Halloween. They'll have you celebrating Diwali and all of them things. Before you know it, you're celebrating Diwali. You're the only black man with a bindi on your forehead, man. Celebrating all of that nonsense. Why? Because you want to please this heathen woman that you've married. You want to please this heathen that you're with because she says, "Oh, if you don't do this, we can't be together no more." So then,
Valentine's Day.
So, like I say that again.
Valentine's Day, 14th of February.
Valentine's Day, even if you got a black woman, she's forcing black men to celebrate that.
Right.
Man, Valentine's Day, you ain't getting no peace if you don't buy her no flowers. You have to buy her something, man, or she's gonna leave you for somebody else. She's gonna leave you for the man that's been in her DMs for the last year, begging you to take her out. On that day, she's gonna go with him. Because women is easily manipulated. This is why it's very important to get your woman in the school also. Get her in the school also, man. So she sees how dumb these little feasts, these holidays are. So she sees how dumb these holidays are, Valentine's Day and Christmas. She sees how dumb they are, so much that on her birthday she realizes, okay, it's just another day. Whereas now, a woman on her birthday wants to be treated like a god. If you don't say hello to her, she's gonna block you on WhatsApp and everything, man. If you don't say happy birthday, if you don't say good morning, gorgeous, happy birthday, she blocks you on everything, man. If you don't say happy birthday, man. And that's what happens when we follow after these other nations.
That's right.
Read on.
That they may serve other gods.
And then we end up serving other gods. We end up serving our oppressors' gods. Read on.
So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly?
And the anger of the Lord is kindled against us, man. The Lord is angry at us, man. The Lord's angry at us. Because why? We've become disgusting in this place. Read on.
But thus shall you deal with them. Ye shall destroy their altars.
That's how you're supposed to deal with them. You're supposed to destroy their altars, man. Go ahead.
And break down their images. And cut down
their images, all their idols, their groves. We meant to take all these things down. We were meant to break them down, man. We weren't meant to go there and serve them. But what did we go and do? Joint practices with them. Join their religions. We done the same thing in Jamaica. Joined the East Indians' practices. We joined with them. Remember, we was never supposed to do that. But we've become so disgusting in this place that that's what we do. Read on.
And burn their graven images with fire.
Listen, man. The Lord told us, yo, don't join them. Burn down everything that they have. That's what we were supposed to do. Listen, man, men of the Lord ain't supposed to be soft, singing in church, banging tambourines and whatnot.
Right.
The thing is this, our black men are warriors, but we ain't channeling our energy in the right place, man. Like, you see all this anger that we have towards one another. Maybe if we channeled that and came into the truth and used it the right way, maybe we could build a kingdom, man. Maybe we could get stuff done. All this anger that we have towards one another, we channeling it in the wrong way. We ain't doing it in the right way. I'm angry towards you, and really, we could come in here and use the anger to do what? Build up blacks and Hispanics, man.
Right.
Use the anger to do what? Build up our own nation, build up our businesses and everything. We could use that. But instead, what do? Just pick up a gun and go kill one another. Take the easy way out. Read on.
For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God. For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God.
And the Lord told us not to marry these other nations. Why? Because we are holy people. Meaning, don't make marriages with them because you're better than them.
That's right.
Don't make marriages with them because you're above them and they're beneath you. We ain't supposed to make marriages with them. We're better than them and they're beneath us, man. But nowadays, we make marriages with them. Why? Because we believe that we're slaves and we believe that they're better than us. When they ain't better than us, man. Read on.
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
The Lord does what?
The Lord God has chosen you to be a special people unto himself.
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself. The Lord chose us, man. If only we knew how special we was, we wouldn't want to break God's laws. If we knew how special we was, we wouldn't want to mix with nobody else. But because we believe we're so unspecial, we believe getting a white woman is a trophy.
Right.
We don't know how special we are. We think that they're special. So we believe if they will lie down with us, I've got me a trophy. And this is why so much black men is comfortable walking around with Edomite women holding their hand for the world to see like this. Right? We believe that they're a trophy.
Right.
We believe that they're special when really they ain't. When you're the special one, man. You're the special one. You're the catch. You're supposed to be with a sister of your own nation, man.
Right.
Give me a Revelations 12 and verse 13.
Antilakia, sir.
Go ahead.
And to add to that, you can thank the Christian church for that.
Right, exactly.
It's the damn church that makes us feel comfortable that we can, marry into these people, knowing that, and that's why the scripture, Salakia, says, woe unto these pastors, Salakia. You know what I mean? That lead our people, Salakia.
Go ahead.
Read.
Yeah, go ahead. Revelation 12 and verse 13.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 12 and verse 14.
Start from, 13.
And verse 13. And when the dragon saw that he was cast onto the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child.
So the dragon is who? Our oppressor. It says it persecuted the woman which brought the man-child. This is twofold. This is talking about Christ and the nation of Israel. So the woman who brought forth the man-child was who? Mary. And the double fold is what? This woman is Israel. Go ahead.
Verse 14. And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness,
Go ahead.
into a place where she is nourished for a time, and times, and half a time.
So that's a certain amount of time. She's took there away from the serpent for a certain amount of time. Go ahead.
For the face of the serpent.
And we know the serpent is our oppressor.
Verse 15. And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood.
Read that part one more time.
That he might cause her to be carried away of the flood.
So now, this serpent pursued after the woman, which is us, the nation of Israel, and cast the flood out of his mouth. Because why? He cast that flood out of his mouth. That flood is what? That flood is lies. That flood is false doctrines. That flood is this man lying about everything. That flood is this man's whitewashing. So he cast out that flood before us, so he can drown us with his philosophies, with his doctrines, and all of that nonsense. Read on.
Verse 16. And the earth helped the woman.
And the what?
And the earth helped the woman.
And it says, this man cast out a flood, all the lies, the whitewashing. It says, and the earth helped the woman. Read on.
And the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood.
So now this flood of lies, which this oppressor cast out of his mouth, all his philosophies, says the earth helped the woman. How did the earth help the woman? With archaeology and everything. So you would read the records and be like, wow, this oppressor says this, but archaeology says otherwise. So the earth helped the woman, meaning what? Relics and all the everything, the records and all these things help the woman, because this man cast the flood out of his mouth. Hold on one sec. So now this is some of the flood he cast out of his mouth. Hold on. You might have to, you might have to show this to the camera. So this is anyone ever had a Botticelli? No, sir. It's basically it's one of them painters, them Renaissance painters.
Okay.
So now this is one of the this is one of the floods that cast out of his mouth. Put this in front of the camera. This picture there. Yeah. Can you see it? So this now hold that there. This is one of the floods that cast out of his mouth. Now, if you look at the woman there, that's meant to be Mary. Now, if you look at the baby there, that's meant to be Christ. Now, if you look at the little boys in the back, them two there, that's meant to be the angels. So these is the records of what they was painting. This is the floods which they cast out of their mouth.
Right.
They cast all of these things out of their mouth.
Right.
So now, when you read about Mary in the Bible, you believe that it's this woman right here.
Right.
When you read about Christ in the Bible, you think it's this baby right here. When you read about angels in the Bible, you think it's these two white boys right here.
Right.
And that's the floods that they
Can't.
cast out of their mouth. Let me see if there's any more. This one as well. Show this one as well. So this right here is in the Christian church. Can you see it?
Can't tell.
So in the Christian church, they call this the Magi or the Magi, meaning what? It means the three wise men. So now they're saying that what? Christ is there, and the wise men is all these devils right here. So now, if you're reading the Bible, automatically in your mind, you think the three wise men is white. You think Christ is white and the angels is white. Why? Because of all of these paintings. Because of all of these paintings, you believe everything. Everyone is an Edomite. Pass that book. Let me see if I can find some more. Let me see the next one. Yeah, show this one there as well. So now they will tell you that lift it up a little. They will tell you that's Christ and Mary. So now, when you're reading your Bible, these images is in your head of these paintings. So when you read about Christ in the Bible, this image is in your head. And then that one on the right, that man on the right is meant to be Saint Augustine. Now they're trying to tell you that he's an Edomite. So now they painted all these images in their likeness. Give me Salakia Ira. Give me the one in Maccabees. Is it First Maccabees 3:48?
Salakia, sir, where do I have to be?
First Maccabees chapter 3 and verse 48.
This is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 3 and verse 48. And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their image.
And listen, man, they sought to paint images like this, man. They wanted to paint these kind of things. So this is what they want to paint. Read that again.
And laid open the book of the law.
And they, listen, man, they had all them records open and wanted to paint pictures like this in there, man. They wanted to paint all of these kind of things.
Salakia, sir, for me.
Go ahead.
In which time per was the Maccabees written?
In which time was the Maccabees?
Cancer.
They lived around the time of the I believe it was the Hasmonean Empire. So it's the time of the empire that they lived. It was the Hasmonean Empire. So if you want
I'm not Salaki, I'm not familiar with that. Is there any number around that?
Hold on, let me find it. Let me just type in the Hasmonean Empire and then it will give me the timeline.
Salaki, so before the ISUPK, I didn't know about the Apocrypha, you know, so I haven't read much about,
Listen,
in this.
listen, you ain't the only one. It says here the dynasty was from 140 BCE to 37 BCE, so between 140 and 116 BCE. That's at the time of that's at the time of that empire. But obviously it's either side, but that was at the time of the empire, and they lived during that time. So their time was during the time when all of that was going on. But that's
about 300 years before Christ.
Yeah, so they lived around that time. So yeah, all of them things, they've always been trying to do what? Paint their images, especially during the Dark Ages. So during the Dark Ages, they was painting their images like crazy. During the time of the Maccabees, what was they doing? Painting their images also. Why? Because they tried to turn the temple into something else other than the temple. They tried to do what? Put pigs on the altar. They tried to get Israelites to follow their customs and culture. So they was trying to make out like they're the holy people of the land of that time also. So what you read in the Bible, everything near enough history repeats itself. They're always trying to do what? Paint their images in the Bible all the time. Well, not in the Bible, paint their images in their likeness. And then they have us worship them. Read that one more time.
And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their image. They brought also the priest.
This is how you get these images of these Edomites. Why? Because they commissioned what? Artists like Michelangelo and Raphael and Botticelli and all of them to do what? Paint their likenesses in the Bible. Well, not in the Bible, but paint the prophets in the Bible as white men. And that's where you get what? All these photos in the Sistine Chapel. That's where you get what? The Last Supper painting. That everyone's an Edomite there. I swear they even put a woman in the... Listen, I swear they even put a woman in the painting. Yeah, I'm sure they even put a woman in the painting in the Sistine Chapel. So yeah, they paint all their likenesses. Drop that. Give me Revelations chapter 1 and verse 1.
Revelations 1 verse 1. The revelation of Yahushua, Christ, which God gave unto him to show unto his servant things which must shortly come to pass.
So the revelation, the root word, it means to reveal. So it said it's going to show him things which must surely come to pass. Now jump down to verse 13.
Come on. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, like one unto the Son of Man.
The 7 schools. Go ahead.
Clothed with a garment down to the foot.
So Christ was clothed with a garment down to the foot. Go ahead.
And girt about with the paps with a golden girdle.
And he had the golden girdle. Go ahead.
His head and his hairs were white like wool, and as white as snow.
Go ahead.
And his eyes were a flame of fire. And his eyes were as a flame of fire. And his feet like unto fine brass.
Hold this up, Cottazar, this one here. And it says, and his feet like unto fine brass. So now, if you don't know, these records is in the Bible. When you read of when you think of Jesus Christ, you think about that little Edomite boy right there. That's who they tell you Jesus is. So when your children hear about Jesus Christ, they think that's Mary and they think that's Christ. And read on Hakeon.
As if they burned in a furnace.
Listen, this white boy don't look like he burned in a furnace, man. This is why we need to let go of Christianity.
That's right.
Christianity will have you believe that this is Jesus Christ so much that every time you read the Bible, you believe that woman there is Mary. You believe Mary was an Edomite woman. And this is the whitewashing, man. They whitewash all the images. They whitewash all the images, man. And now there's people that's actually got these books and actually believe that this is Mary. They actually believe that this babe is Jesus. Whereas I brought this book for teaching purposes. I brought this book because I'm a fan of art and for teaching purposes, man. And this ain't no Jesus Christ according to the Bible. Read where you are from the top.
His head and his hairs were white like wool.
You see the book, bring it, lift it up. Usually it tells you what the pictures at the bottom in the right does say Madonna and child. See if you can get that part on camera. It says at the bottom, probably in small writing. Can you see it? Bring it closer.
Can't sir.
Look closer.
Madonna of the book.
Go ahead, read on. What's the other part say?
I can't see that one. It's a bit.
Bring it and try and hold it. Bring it a little up.
A little bit up. Yeah. It's a bit blurry still.
It's a bit blurry.
Madonna of the book. But
read it. What does it say?
Miriam, Muricio, Pody.
Hold on, pass it. Let me find the next one. Let me find the next one. But the Madonna, obviously, Madonna is Italian for my lady. So that's all. So you'll hear people talking about. Sometimes you hear people talking, and you're thinking they're so deep when they start talking about the Black Madonna. You've heard them mention that. It's so deep. They think they're so deep. I remember years ago, I was like, "Man, what's the Black Madonna?" And I found out, oh, it just means my lady. I was like, oh, is that all? They make out like they're so deep with it. Because, yeah, the Black Madonna. Listen, man, just call her Mary, man. Just say the black picture of Mary. It's easier.
The original.
It's not complicating it, saying the Black Madonna. Everyone's thinking, what the hell is the Black Madonna? I thought it was the musical Madonna when they first said that, and then I realized, it's just Mary. So now the painting, this is another one of their likenesses that they're painting there. So this is their gods, Venus and Mars. Show that one. This is their gay images. This is all Esau does, is paints these gay images. This is Venus and Mars. The two kids in there. Pass it, but let me find the one that I was initially looking for. Hold on. Give me 1 second.
I said, like you said, and they put them in nativity plays as well, don't they? In like Christmas plays.
Exactly.
And you're never the Black Mary, your child, or as a donkey or something. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Listen, you never get a black man never gets to play Jesus in the nativity play. Let me see if I can find it. And they paint them in their likeness. Why? Because the way how Caesar Borgia looks is the way how Italian men look back then. So now they paint it in their likeness, and then that's what you end up worshiping. Hold on. And I got this. Listen, man. I got a bargain on this book. I found it for £2 something, man. Listen, man. You said it comes to getting them cheap books. You gotta get the bargains when they're there. I sent this one for £2 something. I said, let me order that. Yeah, show this one. That one says. See if you can get the writing of what it says on there, the Madonna and Child part.
Can you lift it up a little bit? Yeah.
Up a little bit more.
Yeah.
Go closer a bit. But up a bit because can you see from there?
Madonna and Child with angels.
See, now go back, show the full image now. Look at that. That's meant to be Mary, Christ, and the angels. So imagine you're showing your children these books. Of course, your children is going to believe that Jesus Christ is a white man.
Right.
Of course, they're going to believe it. This is why you need to show them what the records really say. So, Hakeem, read what you're holding. Hold that picture, then read what you're holding, Hakeem.
Khan. And his heads. His head and his nose.
You take me back to the one, Revelations 12 and 16, I believe. So you get Revelations 12 and 16 while Hakeem's reading that one.
Revelations 1, verse 14. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow. And his eyes were as a flame of fire. and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace.
And his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace, which means what? Jesus Christ was a black man, man. This is what we should be teaching our children. We ain't supposed to be teaching them this garbage about Mary and the angels. Read on.
Khan. And his voice as the sound of many waters.
That's it. Ira, get what you're holding.
Khan.
And then how can you get me Ezekiel 1 and 5?
This is Revelation chapter 12 and verse 16. And the earth helped the woman.
And the what?
And the earth helped the woman.
The earth helped the woman, man. Meaning archaeology, books like the Russian icons. Now, if I had the Russian icons, I would have showed you the black images. But obviously, right about now, that book's at like what, over £1,000 right now. So listen, I've been trying to get that book, Russian icons, man. It's expensive. It's over £1,000. Why? Because they don't want you to have that history. They want you to have this history right here, where Jesus Christ is like a white man. So now, read on Ira.
And the earth opened her mouth and swallow up the flood.
That's the
which the dragon
swallows up the flood of lies. What we're reading right now in the Bible about Jesus Christ being a black man swallows up this flood of lies right here. If the Bible says Jesus Christ is a black man, how can this be Jesus Christ right here in the painting, man?
Right.
Which makes no sense. This is why it's very important to know the records.
Right.
The earth helped the woman. Meaning, if we didn't have archaeology and these records, guess what? We would be believing that this is actually Jesus Christ and Mary. If we didn't have these records, but because we have the records and the archaeology, we know they're just spewing a flood of lies, and the earth helped the woman by swallowing up the flood. You can put that book down if you want now. Give me Ezekiel 1 and 5.
Ezekiel 1 verse 5. Also out of the midst thereof came the likeness of 4 living creatures. And this was their appearance.
This was their what?
And this was their appearance. They had the likeness of a man.
They had the likeness of a man. Go ahead. So now, if they had the likeness of a man, why are they showing some little Edomite babies in that picture, man? Why are they painting them like that when they didn't look like that? Read on.
And everyone had 4 faces.
They had 4 faces, man, meaning on every side they can see, because they got a face the left, the right, the front, the back. Now, not all angels look like this, but these ones did. Because obviously some of them come in different forms. So not all of them would have 4 faces, but go ahead. But this is a scary sight. Just imagine this. Imagine these things with 4 faces that we petrified of. Imagine these things fear the Lord, and we choose not to fear the Lord. Imagine if they fear the Lord and we fear them. How much more should we fear the Lord, man?
Right.
How much more should we fear the Lord? The Lord ain't scared of these things with 4 faces. The Lord created them, man. The Lord created them to make us terrified. So how are we not fearing the Lord? If the Lord can create them, just imagine what else the Lord can do. Read on.
And everyone had 4 faces, and everyone had 4 wings.
Go ahead.
And their feet were straight feet.
Go ahead.
And the sole of their feet were like the sole of a calf's foot.
And the sole of their feet was like the sole of a calf's foot, meaning they had on like them boots where the boots are split in the middle. Some people read this and think their feet was actually, like people think their toes was actually like a calf's toes. This is talking about the boots they had on, because they was wearing boots. So when it says their feet was like a calf's feet, it's talking about the boots they had on. It's an ancient kind of warrior boot where it's split in the middle. So that's the kind of boots they had on. Go ahead.
And they sparked like the color of burnished brass.
They was the color of burnished brass, man. Whereas them little boys that we just seen in the picture, they ain't no burnished brass. Which lets you know, man, the whitewashing. Listen, they've whitewashed all the images. They've painted their likeness. They painted pictures of their children. Listen, they painted pictures of their children into these books. So what children can look at this and say, I can be an angel. Whereas black people, they would never paint no angels as black. Because in their mind, black people can't be angels. these times the Bible's telling you that the angels was black men, man. Read it. Is there any more on that, or is that about it?
Salakia, there is actually.
Go ahead.
And they had the hands of a man under their wings on the four sides.
And this is the likeness of the angels, man. This is the likeness of them. They was black also. So all these white images that you see, they're lies. And make sure to tell your children that they're lies.
That's
Pull out
right.
the records and show your children that, listen, Christ was black, the angels was black, and they're the real righteous on the earth. They're the real children of God on the earth, and not these devils, man, who cast the flood out of their mouth, which is a flood of lies and whitewashed images. Anyways, with that, we open the time. We're going to do the security announcements, and we're out of here. Let's pack it up.
This is the I.S.U.P.K security announcement. Where the I.S.U.P.K started at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General YAHANNA. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6 months period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers chapter 18 and verse 21. Malachi chapter 3 and verse 8 to 10. Means 10 in Hebrew, Masha'ara. 10% of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to Treasury Department of Teacher. Peace fund, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming holy convocations.
Feast of Dedication, the 28th of November, which is on a Sunday. Let me just check the calendar. It lands on a Sunday, 28th of November. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, 28th of November. So that's basically in a week or two. So coming down to that, 394 Lodge Road, B18 5PW. Coming down, we're going to drink, we're going to eat, and everything, man. Coming down. Go ahead.
Or Akim and Akov, check the bulletin board in the hallway. And check all I.S.U.P.K social media. If anyone wants to become a trooper in the school, start wearing all black, boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. To that, say Ahmadian. Ahmadian Shabbat. Ahmadian Barak. Yahaba Hashem
Shabrakata.
Yahaba Hashem Shabrakafam.
Yedi Amata. Classes mixed.
Shalom. Lord of Christ.
All right, Shalom, Lord of Christ.
Lord of Christ.
Shalom.